Anyone can play. This is Persuaders Season 1, another mistaken identity one, and there's a lot of these in this series. People are duplicated or mistaken identities or hypnotized to do stuff. There's always some sort of mistaken identity angle. This is another one. Danny goes to play some roulette. He inadvertently says a bunch of secret code words, which has him mistaken for this sort of agent, and none of the agents in this cell know who each other are. So when he mistakenly gives the code words, he ends up getting all this money, and then someone's instructed to follow the guy that wins 50 grand or whatever it is. That person mistakes him for the agent, and then the cops get involved, and it's just a big mess. And it's this is the Persuaders, guys. This is what this show is. And we're going to review this using my space system: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get in any category. I'm going to give the storyline a 1. If I give it a 0, that means it's garbage. If I give it a 2, that means it's fantastic. If I give it a 1, it means it was okay. So if you get 5 out of 10, that was okay. I'm going to give the storyline a 1. It was okay. We're used to this kind of thing. It starts to get really muddled. You're like, what is this? I don't really even understand what the bad guys are doing. It's one of these just weird storylines. This is one of the weaker ones in the series for me. It just kind of loses itself. There's some cool stuff in a train at the end where all the agents are meeting each other. That's kind of interesting, but it just, the cops get involved and it's just weird. So couldn't get into this one as much. The pacing does suffer a little bit. I'm going to give it a 1. It was okay. You're not going to really get bored watching this show because the two guys are so cool together. You just like seeing them hanging out. But this one starts to lose itself where you're like, okay, what's happening? It just feels like, almost like a Three's Company episode. Everyone's just running around doing random stuff. And you're like, all right, I guess I'm just following along. So the pacing suffers there. I'm going to give the artistry a 1.5 though, because there is more locations. Shows like this, the artistry has to go into the stunt work, location shots, how good it's filmed, that kind of a thing, because these older shows, a lot of times there might be like 1 or 2 sets and then that's it, right? If you're watching like a sitcom, you're not going to have more than like 4 locations or something. This is an action show, kind of. It's not as crazy as like an A-Team or something like that would be, or a Knight Rider. But it's definitely got some pretty good locations here and it looks really good. The train stuff is kind of neat. They're in the train. There's a part where they're fighting and the door opens up so guys can get sucked through. That's kind of cool. So I liked the artistry on this one. Again, artistry, I'm going by the show. So I'm not comparing this television show to The Prisoner. I'm not comparing it to Blake 7. I'm not comparing it to Star Trek. I'm definitely not comparing it to anything new. Like House of the Dragon or something. So anyway, I like the artistry. The characters, I'm giving it a 1.5. I actually liked the characters here. I liked the girl agent, and that she was great. The 2 leads, of course, are hilarious. Oh, Comrade, yes, cool, Comrade. They keep saying Comrade. That's super funny. That was really cool. The girl was okay, but the bad guys were kind of bland, only because I didn't really understand the motivations of what was going on. It was one of these things where there's multiple kind of random bad guys, and I just couldn't get into them as much, but I'll give it a 1.5 for that. Enjoyment factor, I'll give it a 1. I liked it. It was okay. It's Persuader, so I'm going to like it no matter what. Again, I'm rating this against other Persuader episodes, so I'm not ranking the Persuaders this episode versus an episode of something else. So within the Persuaders episode list, this is one of the lesser ones for me. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It's still a great episode in general. I'll take this Persuaders episode over anything new Star Trek or anything new Star Wars or anything new. Unless there is a dragon in it. Even that. Wizard Dragons and Rings of Power, because I'll take this over Rings of Power. So anyways, you know what I'm saying though. Great episode. It's still a lot of fun, but in the overall scheme of Persuaders, this is one of the weaker ones. So 6 out of 10 for me on this one. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Persuaders, anything you want to talk about, let me know in the comments. Please make sure you like, subscribe. Check out the classic TV playlist. Lots of great stuff on there now. So that's it. Until next time.